Yes, I'm still alive, don't worry, I haven't done anything dramatic yet. So today is a very surprising day. I wasn't expecting it to do so early, but you know, shipping is good to me, I guess. I mean, even during the whole COVID thing, I was expecting it to come at the end of May, but it came at the end of April instead. So obviously you saw the title and you know, you've already know what's going on. Well, snorkel time, baby. I picked this thing up on eBay from a seller named Product Pond or something like that, I believe it is. He sold a bunch of snorkels before, and a lot of them have never had complaints, so that's what made me actually buy this. It's being that it's the cheapest snorkel you'll ever find, because Dobinson's from us in Canada, it's about $550, so basically you say about 600 bucks, and A or B is about 9 to 1,000 Canadian. So, and I mean that's about 350 US and about 600 US difference or something like that. So it's a big price difference, and so far this thing looks pretty identical to Dobinson's. There's part numbers on it and stuff, so we will get into that as the video goes on. I thought I'd just let you guys know ahead of time, this is gonna be strictly a time-lapse video, simply because it's just gonna be a lot easier to display everything there, and then after the install we'll just kind of walk around and whatnot there. So I'm very excited. I am not nervous at all. Maybe a little bit, yeah. I won't be drinking. I might have a beer, but I'll be sipping on it very slowly because I need to be focused for this. Like I said, for the most part, this thing is gonna be pretty smooth. I'll go over everything once I get to my buddy's garage. I'm going out to my buddy that I built the bed rack with and stuff, because he's got every Milwaukee tool you could dream of. I'll give you guys a quick little walk around there and just show you how much stuff he has. You know, I never take friends for granted or anything there, you know. It's always good to have a friend that has the right tool, so there should be no issues with any drilling or the cutting process at all, because he's got every kind of tool to cut anything up. I mean, if I want to, I could use a cutting torch on this thing and really go ham, but obviously that's gonna burn everything around the panel probably too, I'd imagine, you know, from my point of view. So I'm driving out to my buddy's place, so we're gonna go there. I'm gonna kind of you know, start the video with the time lapsing and show you guys all the products and whatnot there. And we're getting started, so this is going to be fairly easy. A couple tips right off the bat I'll tell you just before we start. Buy extra fender liner clips so you can break all the originals off, because they are impossible to get out. Watch any video, you'll see that it's very common, so have those ready to go to replace. It's a lot easier than trying to save them. Just rip them off, put new ones in at the end, you're done. What else is there? The given is you also have to take your factory snorkel input there on the box itself and shave down the tabs, so that's a given there as well, just to fit the sleeve over on the intake tube. So be sure to do that. And then, well, I'll just kind of show you guys how I'm gonna do it for, you know, the touching up paint and everything else. So let's get right into it. I'm excited and also nervous, so, but I think it's gonna look good. Let's get right into it, boys and girls.
Trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Had
can feel them do well.
So I'm gonna give you guys like a little update here. So it's been 7 hours. I got to my buddy's place at like noon, and then I slowly started it and stuff. And yeah, it's 7:30 now. I'm driving home right now with a hole in my fender because right now I'm having issues with everything lining up. That whole time-lapse video is just me pretty much spending the time trying to figure out why the bolts are not lining up at all. So what I've come to the conclusion is that right now my bolt holes are too high, and that everything's binding up like this when it needs to just ease up on the tension right now. Like I'm putting too much force up top because the bottom seems to line up, but then the top just doesn't do anything. So I'm thinking that, yeah, the bolt holes are just too high on the top, and then they're just not sitting flush, because I went to just try and put everything on and then hopefully just tighten it up as I went. Yeah, I can't even put the boot on properly and then tighten everything down. I have like a couple threads showing, so I've got some work cut out for me, and I'm not happy right now. So I was expecting 3 hours, and now it turned into another 8-hour job like usual for me. So this sucks. So that's my little update. I'm gonna hopefully get this thing done tonight. If I get too frustrated, I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm gonna drive with a hole in my fender till tomorrow. So, but my plan is to finish it tonight. I don't care if it's freaking midnight. I'm finishing this damn thing. So let's get to it. Okay, Sunday morning. So I found the whole culprit to this whole problem, because I'm just gonna show you right now. Oh look, it's on. Look at that. It's on, guys. Yay. You want to know what happened? Here's the funny thing. Those threads or screws that you put into the snorkel themselves that you're supposed to Loctite down and stuff, apparently you're not supposed to go all the way. They're set screws. I did not know that anywhere. Even I read on Dobinson's quickly there, they don't say anything about set screws. So this guy has a different style. Like there must be 3 different styles of snorkels out there, I guess. Because the Dobinson ones, they say tighten them right down, just put it in. This one doesn't have any instructions, so that's a flaw already, which not a huge deal, I guess, but in some ways it is. I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? You know, you drill how you want to drill, you cut it out how you want to cut it, whatever. But that being said, the biggest problem I had is this son of a bitch. Excuse my language, I don't care. Look at this, guys. Look at my template. It's bowed out to hell. It's like folded up, like it wasn't stored decently when shipped. And like I said, I don't know if that's from the shipper or if that's actually like FedEx handling it or whatever there. So because the picture here, the box is pretty mangled, but what can you do, right? So, but that I think was the main problem, because when I did it, just kind of picture it here for you guys, because you see the whole time-lapse video, I had it out like this. I taped it up as best I could. My tape sucks. I hate the tape for sure. So if you're gonna do this stuff, make sure you get some good tape that actually sticks, because my painter's tape sucked. I bought the cheapest stuff, thought it'd be okay. No. The biggest problem though also with taping that is that every time I would tape it, it would just pull off the tape, because it's so bowed everywhere that you have to be basically every inch to tape it down. But anyways, so when I did it the first time, I marked all my holes and stuff, and then I had my buddy Evan come and quickly help me, and he held one end, I held the other. And my hole was like up here. I had to go down like this almost. I had to do a whole new circle. And then for the big cutout, I had to do a little bit more down below. So it actually worked out nicely. But then when we finished and I still wasn't fitting properly, I thought it was something else, like I didn't drill enough or something. But turns out all I had to do was adjust my screws out enough so that there's threads showing in all the holes. And well, there you guys go. You can see right there, there's my one nut. They're all on. The thing is though, they're not totally tight, but they are snug. But I just don't know for sure if I should tighten them all the way down or not, because I don't know if it'll crumple the fender more, or I'll pull the threads out of the snorkel. If I do that, I'm screwed. But I put a lot of Loctite on because I didn't even care. So, and the reason now it's Sunday morning is because what I did was I ended up siliconing my tube here. That's another thing I should show you. In 2 seconds. Showing you guys my tube here. Look at that. Look at all that gunk that I got up there. So as you can see, I have siliconed my tube a lot. Why did I do that there? Well, for one, you want to seal it up as much as you can. Oh, there goes my ratchet. So right here on the top, like through here, you can actually see a little bit. So that's something you guys could use if when you're installing one. But up there, the boot was coming off slightly, so it's all sitting like this, but the top part was leaning out. So we pushed it in as much as I can. I don't know if it's because the way the snorkel's sitting or if that tube, I just got to fight with it more. That thing is a hell of a time to put on too, by the way. Be ready to put it through that intake hole. Holy crap, does that require some pushing. So that or I was doing something wrong. But either way, we put the tube on there, and then with whatever little I had left and then all around, I took my silicone tube here. Nothing special, just all-purpose silicone. I used it on lights, and I mean, you can use it on just about anything, right? So it's 100% waterproof, right? And when I was doing that, I pushed too much pressure on it, and I ended up exploding it everywhere. I even got some of my tires for crying out loud. Like I had like a 6-inch long piece, so I got messy with it. I took it on my finger and I smeared it everywhere, and I gunked the heck of it on the top there. So regardless if the clamp is not totally on there, being that it's on the top also, I'd be more worried if the bottom wasn't on tight more than the top. So I got all that done up there, so it's all sealed up. I'm confident with it. I'm fine with it there. I won't be scared to go through a water by all means, but we'll see. I mean, if it falls off, then we're gonna have another issue. So, but it's also being the biggest thing is that can be easily adjusted if need be once it's off, but you don't want to play with your snorkel if you have an issue. So if your thread pops out or something, that will not be fun. So hopefully I don't lose any of those, and we'll play it by ear there. I got to button everything back up. I mean, I got this on there. I didn't do any 3M tape or anything. So, cause this is, I mean, now that everything's tightened down here, right? But this is like, there's no movement on it. So I don't know if I really need to put anything on it. And I really am not drilling any holes into my freaking pillar or putting rivets in or anything like that. Don't do that. Not my pit. No, I wouldn't touch that at all. Not worth it. I mean, you're already irreversible on the fender. I would not recommend doing the pillar too, because it's just, if you're not careful, right, you know, you're going into something very serious there. A fender's a fender, whatever, right? That's easy to replace, but I just wouldn't play with the pillar too much. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people just put tape on it, or I guess for my instance, I'm not putting anything on it. So I'm gonna get my fender liner all buttoned up. I gotta get my intake all put back together. It takes 5 seconds. And then I'm gonna go over all the tips and tricks for you guys quickly. And I'll give you a little bit more view of this as long as it's not ugly out. And then that will be it for my snorkel video, guys. What a heck of a time it was. But Taco looks badass now. Yeah.
I can feel them. I can feel them. I can feel them pull me down.
Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. It's getting windy again like usual. This is the problem I have out here, is that one day it'll be nice for something, but then the next to do it or something like that, or do the after, you know, whatever it may be, it just screws up everything, because the wind, it affects performance, it affects noise, it makes things more difficult, you know, everything. Wind just sucks. And our wind here is not like a little bit of wind. No, we get about like 30-40 miles an hour, and then, you know, I'm blowing all over the highway and stuff. So right off the bat, I can't really tell much difference from anything right now. What I'm gonna recommend to you guys is that come back in about a week on this video and look at my comments, and I will give you guys a little bit more updates. Right now I have the fender liner still off because I want to make sure all my nuts are tight. Yeah. The one thing I can say though, well, right now it's a little bit warmer out now. My intake's reading 28 degrees. Yesterday when I drove home, I had to drive home with that fender cut, right? I was doing about 30-33 degrees, and that's from the fender cut hole. So, I mean, I think that's about average usually I get in from there. When I was driving today, I did the highway run because I had to drop off tools for my buddy, about 20 degrees, maybe 17, something like that. Like, it was about 10 degrees difference, and right now it's sitting at 28, but I've been idling for a little while. So I'm definitely noticing a little bit more colder air on the temperature, but as for performance or sound, I really don't notice a difference, but there's the befores and afters for you guys to see. The couple videos I have is one, the very first one is going through first gear very slowly. Like I'm talking the very slowly, just creeping all the way up to about 6,500 RPM. Second gear, full throttle at about 40 miles an hour / 75k an hour. And then I do a little bit of a highway run, a fourth gear and fifth gear. So there's the befores and afters of that. Like I said, not much sound change. Well, I didn't use any 3M tape, obviously, right? We know that. I'm just kind of worried about whether or not everything's gonna hold up right now, or whether or not I'm gonna have leaking from that silicone tube, because the top of that boot was just not going on nicely. I couldn't really fight with it anymore. And then on top of that, this is right after the video, putting everything back together, the intake, that tube itself, when you put it in, sure, you can go all the way in, but it doesn't mean jack shit, because the filter, the box has to be pushed out more. So the half the box has to come out, which at the same time, I don't see why you should put a hose clamp there. I mean, none of the other intakes have a hose clamp there. I get that it's coming through, but the intake's not gonna move with the 3 bolts down. So as long as you put it in the tube, I don't think you really have to seal that. I mean, the water won't really come into that area, because one, you're gonna have a fender liner on there, possibly, depending on your truck. Two, it won't get, the water just won't get in there. It just won't happen. But I mean, if you want to seal it up, you go be my guest. I'm not too worried. I mean, I've nosedived this truck no problem on stock, but being that I have the bumper now, it's a little scary now for sure. I get a little paranoid, because if I nosedive the wrong way, the fender liner's up like this, there's like a hole there. Basically, it's like a scoop. The scoop of water will go in there and my life would be over, probably, more than likely, for sure. So, but yeah, guys, that's the install. Definitely not the greatest. I don't know who to blame there. I'm not really worried about it. The damn thing's on. I'm happy now. I'm getting a lot of looks now too. This definitely changes the look and happy. Like, I just had a guy driving down the road and asked me about the year, asked what I've done to it, and I was like, just, you know, little stuff. So, but yeah, I'm getting the looks. So far, $300, not too bad, but we'll see how the plastic holds up and everything else. So I'll give you guys maybe a review in about a month and see how I'm liking it and whatnot, and making sure that there's no issues by all means. So hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna try and get you more. I had to get this video done today because next week for work, I'm probably gonna be very busy. Work's been kind of slow, but I've also been doing a lot of social media and stuff. So I've just been preoccupied, and I don't want to do a video or a half-assed video. I mean, we even had snow, for crying out loud, this week. It was crazy. This weather doesn't make any sense to us. So, oh, and I'm no longer going to BC, so I can't really tell you too much about those spacers I put in for my seats. But I did go to Saskatoon, so that's about 2 hours there, 2 hours back. And I will be doing a video on that shortly here. So far, I'm actually happy with it. My back doesn't seem to be aching as much after long periods of driving. I just got some foot issues right now. My feet go damn numb after a while. Not good. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had fun. I hope you had yeah, I hope you had fun. What the hell am I saying? Oh god. I will see you soon. I'm so done. I'm hungry. Later. Oh, and I got beer at home too. Newcastle Brown Ale. Best. My Georgia boys did that for one for me, so I'm gonna go home and devour those. Later.